Greetings everyone, please give a moment to make sure everything's set on up. YouTube, Rumble's going, Twitch. Is going, looks like everything's going, starting on up. Twitter is starting on up, looks like everything's starting on up. Activate some live stream windows. Okay, I think everything's now booted on up. I'm double check my other computer. And looks like everything's good to go. I went ahead and found a replay to start casting, so let's get started immediately. Greetings everyone, and Great here with another Age Mythology replay. Come on now, play. There it goes. Small on bottom left side as the blue set. We got Apheligemin, butchered that name well enough. So on the right side as the red Zeus, we got Mafia. Blue immediately activate his vision. This map seems pretty small. At least it seems the town centers are pretty close by each other. There's two large wood deposits along the side, so good source of wood. The extra town centers off the side. This one's a little bit more contestable. Obelisk there to pull out on the field. When it comes to relics on the map, we got the Pythos Scepter. Makes farms cheaper, so it's easy to transition into them. Up here, got the skull of the Kriakopes, small group of monkeys. Down south, we do have the girdle of Hippolyta, gives ranged soldiers more hit points, which is okay, nothing too particular. And Kui Drum, heroes do more damage losing more hit points. They have some sort of like berserk effect. We do now have the priest and scout engage each other. Scout took a little extra damage to start out with. That's 0.5 good attack speed, 1 slow attack speed, so I have no idea who won that fight. Blue does find some goats there. They are the goat. And we got a baboon of set. I sort of view sets of free animals more of a food bonus than actual combat bonus, because their combat capability is horrible. You can use them in a pinch, but you should really probably try to eat them, because all of the food is delicious. We got Fa being deployed on field, gives access to wall jets, as well as what, shifting sands. That's the primary use for that god. Obtaining boar. Pumbaa's being obtained. Blue's finding a good number of goats as well. Almost there. Blue and red both aged on up. Up here do have Norm the Minotaur, so he has Zeus gone for Athena. And let's slow down a little bit. It is getting to that phase of the game. Gonna open up a drink, my apologies. There's a lot of birds here, a lot of crowned cranes. There's 15 there, but that's actually quite significant. I'm just thinking, oh, bolts the Wadjet, very nice. Though Wadjet's not too particularly strong. Right now I'm just thinking Odin's great hunt god power on all these crowned cranes. And apparently I also did highlight a panda, which some people think it's a bear, some people think it's a marsupial, because it effectively is pretty close to a marsupial, like a kangaroo. Howdy! Again, we do now have the monument to the villagers being put on the field. The town center is being powered. Do know as well, does go ahead and kill off the Gazelle set. The empowered town center does not improve village production. I wonder if he knows that or not. It should still improve the drop off rate. Got a number of obelisks being pulled on field to torment his surroundings. Ray does find some goats. We got a couple military barracks being established there. Here, so is there any way for me to take a look at the empowered benefits from here? Applied upgrades. Nope. There's no way for me to see the empowered benefits through the menu right there. I'm pretty sure it helps with like researching, but and with resource drop-offs, but doesn't affect anything else. That's the sound of 3 guys building obelisk. We do now have a hoplite, Hercules, Jason, and Norm the Minotaur. The only person that's unnamed is the hoplite. A couple hoplites there. We do now have the scalp axes, improving axeman damage by 25%. He is fighting against Zeus, who tends to go heavy in infantry, such as hoplites. Priests get a good volley there, Norm the Minotaur. He does not have the Wadjet up attack. What am I hearing? That sounded like the Minotaur getting hit by. I was hearing it out of my right ear. I don't know if I have the what type of audio settings I have enabled, because right now I'm hearing this stuff coming on the right side of my ear when it's on the left side of the screen. So there may be some audio bugs going on. Am I wearing my headset right? Yeah, my headset's wearing it correctly. Sorry if that seems a little bit stupid of me, but when it's coming out the wrong ear. Okay, I hear it coming out my right ear. Let's switch over to him. Okay, it feels like it's working right. Maybe the damage being hit sound effect is just broken with the Minotaur. Not sure. We do have the Nephitis queued on up for the Scorpion Mans, which also gives Ancestors God power. Chieftain Stance is available, which is a very, very powerful God power for Age 2. It's like Vortex, but much more accessible. I never knew how annoying multiple priests building a single obelisk could be, but apparently it is quite annoying. Medium axeman spoiling field. They are improved by the scalp axis, increasing the damage output by 15%. Not bad. Makes it a bit more effective a counter unit. In which Zeus is going for good number of hoplites, so axemans are the way to go. Does still need to get medium hoplites, which is still on the build queue. Going for the copper upgrades as well. Axemen, so go ahead and axe apart some villagers. But villagers can stand up to them. 6.3, 77 health with 1 attack speed. 6 damage, 1 attack speed, 55 health. Villagers are not too terribly weak versus axemans. Axemans, get bored. Oh, those axemans will go down. Get a bit of recon going. And we've got a fresh Pegasus now pulling the field. Some relic has been picked on up. Another Wadjet being pulled in the field. I am not a big fan of Wadjets. The attack speed is slow. The damage is not great. They do have a bit of poison effect to them, but I do not like Wadjets. Wadjets do cost 150 wood, 15 favor. Chickens being obtained. And it looks like Blue does man gets the baboons, relic monkeys. And you can't eat these. You know how the Sawdoof reduces the build time and cost of farms by 50%. Not bad. I wonder, does it get a combination of that other relic? That's probably the other relic is still on the map. Restoration utilized. Axeman getting knocked around. Restoration has subsided. Minotaur has been focused down by the priests. Monkeys going down. Overall, thanks to Restoration, Red was able to win that fight. Villagers are going to be hunting down the Hyenas set. This Hyenas set is now engaged, is probably good. Villagers need to get inside the town center. Here's our medium hoplites, fully upgraded to Sage. More hoplites in the build queue. Blue's losing a little bit to me villagers right now. 28 versus 38. So he's down by 25%, or Red's ahead by 33%. And now do have the Sarasi. And the age up's almost complete. Yeah, could have just hold down the town center and use ancestors to protect himself. Didn't need to take unnecessary losses. Go for the Wadjet there. There's a free Scorpion and plenty of free food there, which is good. Also, I think my sound settings may have got bugged out. Feels like my sound's also not only bugging out, but a little bit too loud at the moment. Please give me a moment. I hope it'd be fine.
Πρόσταγμα.
We do now have the Nebity. Increases priest and pharaoh damage against myth units by 100%. We also got the Spirit of Mott. Increases the healing rate of pharaohs and priests. Very nice. But red is not going for too many myth units, so the extra bonus damage is not going to be super important. Plus, the bonus damage here increases damage from times 5 to times 6, so increasing the damage output against myth units by 20%? It's actually not super great. Or something that's already pretty good at. Ancestors not being summoned. Axeman now engaging. Does not have the Heavy Axeman. Heavy Axeman just got completed now. Ancestors do offer 8 damage with decent attack speed. Blue will win the fight. But of course, the ancestors are temporary. More Axeman build queue. Wadjet does go down to Hercules and Jason. Scorpion Man now getting hit. Monkeys are summoned. Scorpion Man does go down. Ancestors are being picked on up, so blue will not win the fight. Needs to fall back, regroup, get these villagers back. Maybe go on this gold deposit here. The villagers need to get on out of there. Blue's not responding quick enough, in my opinion. Both sides are going for a bunch of melee units. I'm curious what upgrades blue has gotten. At this current rate, both players should hold off on shields. They don't need pierce armor. They need pack armor. Blue also got the basic copper upgrades. Definitely should hold off on bronze shields. Right now, blue's at 34 villagers versus 49. Priests going to get some good healing there. Villagers should not be pushing forward there. More heavy axemen being deployed in the field. We're now doing 7.7 damage. Hoplites do have 127 health to help resist the extra damage. But an axeman only costs 70. Hoplites are what? 90. So Axeman will beat Hoplites, but he's been getting outnumbered. What's going with the sound? Am I going crazy? It feels like the music's not holding the same tone. We do not have Dionysus now being queued on up, not being reached at the moment. Has plenty of gold, needs a bit more food. Got the plow research. Mid-gold stronghold being pulled in the field, very nice. May want to pull out a second one up here next to the gold deposit. Chariot Archer seem pretty good to me at the moment. Right now he has queued up Champion Axeman capable. I think blues are actually running pretty low on food as well. I wonder if those animals a set have been eaten. They'll just need to get back to Nickel Stronghold. Priests rattling away. Good number heavy axemen here. Dionysus, of course, queued on up. You shall hail Hydra. Another mid-gold stronghold here, very nice. Picked up some berry bushes, good. Has a handful of farms. Remember, his farms are a little bit cheaper, 35 gold. This relic up here says it will make them all cost 25% even less. So in theory, they can get a 75% discount. Unless it's multiplicatively applied, then it'll be less than 75%. 75, less than a 75% discount, more precisely. Barracks deployed, being put on the front line. Blue should probably ice some chariot archers, in my opinion. Toxay is being queued on up. Red is now aged up. Probably should get out some Hypastus. And going for more Hydras. Let's see, Scarab Pendant, Funeral Rites. Gives 8 gold upon unit death. Bit of refund. These guys do cost 30, so get a little bit of rebate. Hypastus and as well some Peltas been pulled in the field. Right now he doesn't need the Peltas. Priests are classified as hero, not ranged hero, so they will not be countered by ranged attacks or anti-ranged units. Monkeys are trying to play the villagers. Three monkeys have been slain. More Hydras. These Hydras. This Hydra will get some hits there to get some heads. Paul needs one more hit to get a second head. He's getting ahead in life. Heavy infantry now queuing up. We've also now got 2 townships for red. Blue only has 1 and already has less villagers. Going for some slingers now to counter out the Hypastus. So the anti-range versus anti-range. Horus queued on up, so he's going to be eyeing some Avengers. They like to spin to win. More obelisks. What's up with the sound balancing? What the hell? This is quiet. Music's not being stable. That heroic sound effect was loud. I do have blue selected, so probably that was Odysseus? I don't know. The sound's just going crazy this game. My apologies. We got some chariot archers been playing in the field. I think chariot archers will be a pretty good addition. We do also have, what's this one here? Spear of Mass. That's finally being actually being researched. Villagers trying to get this gold deposit. We got multiple mid-gold strongholds here. Hydra is taking significant amount of bonus damage from the priest. They do have plus 100% bonus damage. Going from times 5 to times 6. Bronze have been floated in the field, but got a good number of axemen here. Both Hydras have been down. Oh, that's one reason why the Hydra's going down. He's trying to get the Avengers. Only if that series were ever good. Most of the Marvel films have not been good. Villagers migrating over here. Could probably eat Pan. Actually, the Panda doesn't actually have any food. Wait, pandas don't have any food in them? All the hostile wildlife usually have food. I guess, why do pandas not have food in them? I'm assuming priests can also convert them?
Great.
They can't convert them, at least I don't see the mark cursor for it. Howdy. Shifting sands away, it's very nice. One way to save your army. Does try to gauge this fortress here. You now have the War Elephant engaging the fortress. Hypastus trying to move over here and engage. They do not do bonus damage from priests. They're just hero, not range hero.
Enito.
What the? Okay, a sound bug's just going crazy. And that was the priest making that sound? What is going on? Jeez. No, he's spawning out more heroes. Did the current patch break the sound balancing?
Gary.
Or is it just this game? Axeman pushing over here. Blue has a decent army. Mostly Hypastus, some Toxays, a couple Hypastus, and Hoplites. Because this sound, music's fading in and out. I have no idea why. Hope it's not like this. Got some axemen being pulled in field.
Girei.
Big old stronghold starting to go on down. Blue does have decent arm here, but it is mostly just counter archer. Nickel stronghold firing away. Got, of course, these Petrobolos. Right now, Camel Riders seem pretty good to me. Villagers trying to shank Hercules. Nickel stronghold gets cancelled. Heroes shouting their entrance. Hercules at 5 health remaining. Let's switch over to Zeus, because there's less heroes that may pop up. Heavy infantry now being queued on up by Zeus, going for some hoplites. Nickel stronghold takes some damage. There's losing a lot of infrastructure here. Priest going down. They're trying to go for more axemen. Has a lot of research queued on up, but won't be able to go for them anytime soon. Does have decent amount of food and gold stored up. Monument Priest will go down. Good number of counter archers, counter range units. Axemen charging way forward and gaze a handful of hoplites. On the right side, just got some monkeys. Axemen pushed away forward. Odysseus taking some damage. Pharaoh has gone down. Townsend looks like will go down. And overall, right now going for max axemen was a counter infantry unit versus max heavy peltasts. Both players not trying to counter each other. Hoplites will easily get rid of the park there. Town Center does get destroyed again. Toxays, Hypaxis, Hoplites, everything being queued up by red. Not looking good for blue. And since it's a little bit idle at the moment, I am sound. Speech on, speech volume, everything else is... After this game, I'm going to take a better look at that. Maybe it's just this game that's causing all the audio issues. Unless it's the patch. If it's a patch, I'm probably going to call the stream early because this is actually a bit hurting my ears, having the sound go in and out really badly. Headsets does not like headsets, like feels like pressure waves. I'm not sure if the recording will show this part. It looks like it's going to be a bit of cleanup operation. Blue's not back in the game, and don't think there's any way for him to get back on in, so I'm going to hit the fast forward a little bit. Sound, speech, narrator. Maybe speech volume down. Maybe that'll help out. Nope, either way. Let's go on to the next replay. Settings. Pretty sure no. Let's see, speech on, sound. I assume sounds like master sound volume, but yet I have no idea. Narrator can stay where it is. Let me just lower that down a little bit. Let's just try that. Maybe it'll fix some stuff. I have no idea. I think the sound settings may just got butchered. Let's go and see any other decent length of replays. Oh, very high. Keen servo. Where was that person? That person already... There it is. Already gone in for 19 minutes, so hopefully it's a good replay. It's also green. Greetings everyone, and great here. Another Age of Mythology replay. Small on the bottom left side as the green Hades, we got Jack 90. Small on top right side as the red Poseidon, we got Keen Servo. When it comes to relics of the map, we do got the Salvathar Sledge, removes the favorite cost of buildings. 5 colored Stone of Nuwa, reduces repair cost by 50%. Over here we do have the Ankh of Ra, adds a bit of trickle rate. And over here we do got the Wuho Bow of Hung Dai, giving a bit of a snare effect for your ranged soldiers. Last game I had a bit of an issue where the audio was really bad, but hopefully it's fine now. And do now the lure being established here, of course. This map, nothing much to say about this map other than we got food sources scattered out, we've got 2 large tree deposits in the middle, so it's pretty symmetrical. Not much RNG when it comes down to this map. It does take time to pick off some of these units, these wildlife there, which does cause a bit of spoilage. And now we've got Hermes being queued on up for Poseidon, which is the Centaur and Ceasefire, and Hades will be aging up with Athena to give access to Minotaur and Restoration. We do also have the Vault of Erebus, gives 2 coin trickle, effectively 2 villagers for the price of 200 wood, not bad. Centaur heading down south for the winter. Norm the Minotaur and Ajax now here. Blue doesn't have any villagers exposed this area. And can just get inside the town center here, no problem. You can always blow out sentinels to provide a bit of extra protection from these raids. Center fires its arrow volley there, miss that one villager, gets inside the sentry tower. Ajax now responding, very good defense there, handled the single centaur no problem. They need to spend time or resources on the sentinels. He is going for a secondary town center here, so he wants to try to keep his sentinels available in case there's a raid over here. A secondary lure now being plotted by Poseidon. If I remember correctly as well, the chickens that spawn for it are not infinitely replacing. There spawns more animals later on. So how many chickens have spawned this age? I see 1, 2, 3, 4 chickens. That's not a whole lot, honestly. And we've got some idle villagers there, so the chickens maybe not in the same pack. We have now some sentinels being deployed over there. Probably gonna wait until harassment came along. The harassment's now coming along. If the lure would instantly respawn some chickens every now and then, I say that would be a great way to buff that god power. Like one chicken every minute. Maybe one, rather than one chicken every minute, maybe one goat every minute. To be fattened over time. Just ideas. Goats are the goat. And there's a Pegasus now uploaded in the field. Looks like both sides just playing the eco game. Achilles picks up this relic. Centaur gets a bit of harassment done there. And here comes Achilles. Achilles will move at 5.3. Centaur's new move at 5.9. So the Centaur will escape away. And do now have Aphrodite queued on up from the Nemean Lion and... what was the god power again? Why can't I not remember the god power? Curse. That was Curse. Got some Hippus now pulling the field. Achilles is not classified as a cavalry unit. It's just simply classified as a hero. Hippolyta charging way forward, just causing more issues as well. She's the fast hero. She moves faster than Achilles, 5.3. I think I need to adjust some audio. This seems too quiet compared to the music. If I would increase speech volume, maybe we turn down the music a little bit more. I think that's good. Now the hip is heading down south. We're seeing a bit of health regen. Of course, yeah, I think the recent patch screwed up the audio in this game. Because nothing just is balanced. You can see the Minotaur is loud. Clicking the market is quiet. Bit of an arrow volley there. The Minotaur, Norm the Minotaur, and Achilles in the region. Good number of Hippus, Hippolyta, and the Centaur. Here comes Ajax. Norm does go down, just leaving. Oh, looks like Ajax, all of that remains. Achilles gone down as well. Oh no, Achilles got inside the Sentry Tower. That's where he went. I didn't see the hero death animation, so I got confused. Good number of Hippus there. Looney's got some hoplites help protect. Some of these villagers are getting hit. He does have the Sentinels here for a bit of defense. Sentinels go off 50 favor, so he needs more favor to protect over here, but does have the Sentry Towers. Another Ajax blow on the field. Some of these villagers getting hit. That one does go down. Centaur has gone down. And of course, got the good number of the Sentinels firing away. Military Academy not fully built. Probably should go for some basic walls over here, but there's a good number of Hippus there. He needs to get that Military Academy built and get some hoplites. Nemean Lion now uploaded in the field. Age up's complete, so Curse could be pretty effective. That affects human soldiers. And cavalry are expensive human soldiers. We may see Curse here. Didn't see the Nemean Lion. It's probably a good time for Curse. There's Curse. Bunch of semi-fattened pigs there. Takes out half of the cavalry units. Those taking some damage there. Trying to go for a storehouse. We got some Prodromos, counter cavalry units. Very good. The age up does give him access to another effective unit, but still needs to be poured on larger numbers. Sentinels providing some decent damage there, but just may need a fortress or some walls over to protect this flank. Stable. Blues now pulled out Pegasus for scouting. Restoration still available. We got 55 villager versus 70, so red got a decent amount of villager rating. Basic walls will help hold down. We got some proxy stables. Sentinels or watchtowers. Yeah. Look at that. Building sound's gone down. I wonder. Okay, so okay, somehow sound is affecting by building audio effects, but now everything else, these sound effects are a bit loud. Oh boy, yep, they messed with some audio balancing. Let's just set down to 50%. They adjusted some, they played around with the audio settings, and now it's a little bit in balance with some things, particularly building sound effects, which are not using speech, but using game sound effects, which I think it should use speech and keep them balanced with balance them with the units summoning. Okay. So yes, they definitely messed with some audio stuff, and I think they made too many mistakes. Because having the buildings have the same audio line or audio volume compared to units is important. I do believe that should be under speech equal to unit of speech, because it is effectively the speech of the building. It does make a difference, because if you're clicking on a building, or like say a hotkey, you want to make sure you're able to recognize that you actually click on the building and not have it too quiet. And tail sound effects, you can now see the melee sound effects are pretty loud now. Got a good number of promos and hoplites here, but there's a significant number of cavalry by a lot of the red. Fortress blowing field to help out. No boiling oil. Single sentinel providing some fire support. Does use bronze there. Restoration does affect buildings, so he can probably stall out the conflict there by restoring health of the building. Let's see, Sentinels of 50 favor, which is not really worth it to protect against invasion. It's only good against raids, and is a bit more than a raid. Some hack parts through here. Number of prodromos, but they're not even medium prodromos. Medium hoplites. Poseidon is aging up now, going for hepatitis. Wait, he's aging up all the way to mythic age. Already got Dionysus going for Colossus and Plenty Vaults. It's been a while since last seen Plenty Vaults and Colossus. Green does have decent force here, and it's pretty small force, so you'll get a lot of damage to focus single targets with a pretty low tech. And Blue's or Red's formation was horrendously bad there. Got stuck in the gold deposit. Now they're starting to get on out of there. Handful of free shades is quite nice. They're not great, but they're free. You pay what you get for. Restoration now utilizing red or green, and red does counter with a ceasefire. Green could fall back a little bit there, try to get some reinforcements. Got this 4 towns that are being built. And Stolen for the God Power is not critical. It's a Plenty Vault, not Lightning Storm or Earthquake. Plenty Vaults are pretty nice, still. Massive forward amount of forward production here. Archer ranges and stables. Eyeing for a bit more stability in his life. Got still a decent number of walls here, so green does have a choke point. Military Academy does take some damage there. Heavy infantry now being queued on up for Hades. Trying to go for more hoplites. Looks like green's able to hold back the cavalry with proper counter units. Very nice. Grand hoplites a bit more gemless, but plus 20% attack damage is not bad. I think the overall is still pretty cost effective. Plenty Vault has now been summoned. providing decent amount of trickle of resources. I want to click on it, take a look at it. And the next favorite cost of it is just 200, so it's cheaper on the tier 4 god power, which makes sense. It's not a nuke. No fortified town center, Chiron spawn field. Green's Pexus there. Plentiful is providing 444. Assuming each village provides 1 resource, it's effectively 12 villager resources permanently, which is pretty nice. So Poseidon does have 8 villagers on to favor, so does Hades. So he could just try go for multiple 20 volts and go for the eco fashion, which I'm all here for. Stone Gate under fire. We do have the watchtower here. It does not have the anti-cavalry damage, which is a small amount. What's it called? Crenellations. Of course, the audio imbalance. The hero summoning sound effect is really high. My apologies about that. I think it's just a patch. Champion Padromo's full in field. They're a counter cavalry unit, so it's not a good idea to use against hoplites.
Lege.
Toxtays, however, are a good option. They're medium Toxtays, though. And here comes the Colossus. It's just a regular Colossus, not a Silver Colossus. Don't see Silver Colossus research. I think he's going to save his favor for more 20 volts. Restoration utilized again by Green, helping win the fight. Militiamen being summoned from the destroyed buildings. Does only partially heal up some of these cavalry units. Hippus got medium Padromos pretty forward. Very good. We got some high passes, medium high passes for Hades, and the settlement has been, well, the township has been destroyed. Going for this township again. Colossus went down. Polyphemus in the thick of everything. He knows a hero, he's pretty good against human soldiers, having 1,000 health. Good damage there. Number of Toxtays up there. More of the shades being summoned. And the Toxtays not coming out in large enough numbers by Poseidon. And hoplites are just very, very good. And my apologies, I'm still messing on the sound setting since the last patch butchered everything. Shrink down by 5%. Right now, Champion Hippus was by 18 damage. He does have iron upgrades. Have 1 attack speed, 200 health. Versus 144 health, 10 damage, so 3/4 health. Half the damage, or close to 2/3. Cost 100 or 90 versus 120, right? And granted, these are just heavy hoplites, not even champion hoplites. The hoplites doing very well. We do now have the Artemis being queued on up, Chimera, and Earthquake. Going for a forward fortress now for Hades. Cavalry backing on off. Against all the hoplites, he could go for his advanced heavy cavalry from the fortress. I forget what it's called, but the little bit AoE makes them inherently a bit anti-infantry. They're effectively cuirassiers from Age of Empires 3. Fortress does go down, spawning some militiamen. They appear not to be affected by many infantry upgrades, just the blacksmith upgrades. But yeah, I think he should be eyeing for some of the fortress cavalry. The bit of AoE does very well versus infantry. Got the age up now, actually started for Hades, going for bronze upgrades as well. course, looks like he is skipping bronze shields, which is good.
Λέγε.
Doesn't really need it. They're just trying to break through over here. They're about ready to get on through. Got a fortified town center though. And a number of these watchtowers who do not have their upgrades. Red has actually now deployed out a second Plenty Vault. Very nice. Providing another 12 villager income. First being utilized, I think, back here. We do also got the Secret of the Titans queued on up for Poseidon. Looks like green hit the town bell. Achilles will go down. A couple hoplites being brought on in. A group of them being brought on back. Various structures being cleaned on up. Militiamen will slow down green a little bit, give him a bit of attrition damage. More high passes being summoned by Zeus, not Zeus, Poseidon, not a bad idea. Counter infantry units. With Hades age up, you can also get his unique crossbowman, the Gastropedes, or whatever it's called. He has a crossbowman with good damage versus structures and great range. Actually a pretty nice unit. It is actually a good alternative to the Petrobolos. Next one, he gets also upgraded. Incendiary arrows give him like ×8 damage versus structures. Polyphemus have been redeployed there. High passes try and break on through.
Έτοιμος. Λέγε.
Both of them are heavy, so they have equal teching, barring red does have the iron upgrades. Polyphemus push way forward. Catapults being not really properly microed on in. Archer range has been established. More Petrobolos being pulled by the fortress. Chimera here, ready to spew some fire.
Πρόσταγμα.
And now the champion infantry for Hades. Chimera could just probably stay back, let his flamethrower recharge, and avoid those heroes. Hippolyta does go down. And green is going for some zone high past this. Polyphemus push him on the flanks. Tyrant's taking the dancer. Chimera still up and going. Got some pass and some archers. And the audio imbalance calls heroes summoning sound effects to screech on in. Red's high fastest falling him back. Fortified walls, Secret Titans queued on up, Champion Infantry queued on up, going for another Hippolyta. Green does a triple villager queue, both of them effectively max on villagers. Cavalry trying to break through here. We got triple fortress queued on up for red over here. Dromos versus Hypasus, or yeah, I guess it would be equally not great. Red has established some trade over here. That's a pretty good distance. Doesn't really have good fuel control over here, so that's probably the best location for him to get his gold. He does have these two Plenty Vaults in the field. Next Plenty Vault is standard expensive Plenty Vault cost, or Age 4 God Power cost. But Plenty Vaults will provide him a lot of income, that's for sure. Right now, red is missing out a lot of food. Earthquake here destroys that fortress. Many of these military academies will go down. Give him a big swell of militiamen. More heroes screaming on in. Copper bronze shields now being queued on up for Hades. He's going for a large number of Hypasus and hoplites. Another ceasefire, so Poseidon's a little bit desperate, trying to get some reinforcements going. Going for some Toxaphase. He's lacking food and a bit of gold. Has plenty of wood. May want to stop collecting wood. He has 32 villagers on wood, but that is... yeah, just grab half of them and turn them to farmers. Gold miners, of course, will be a little bit more difficult because only gold left is on Hades' side of the map. He has started to secure up these other gold deposits, at least in the sphere of influence. This gold deposit can be claimed. I see some more gold down here that red also can obtain as well. Green right now has decent reserve of all resources, but still not mass reserve. Another restoration stone by green, very nice. Also got incendiary arrows now researched. And poison arrows as well. Not sure if the poison effect stacks in this game. And not every game damage over time necessarily stacks. For example, Age of Empires 4, while poison arrows from Molians do stack, the Zornhau Bleed upgrade for Order of the Dragon does not stack. So there's always a little bit of inconsistency. But at least you can actually read and identify if it is stacking or not. More Hippos cavalry being pulled in by red. So this gold mine's being obtained. You may need to delete this stable to improve his surface area. Red does have a massive amount of facilities here. If it does get struck, the militiamen will really slow everything down. Green may want to go for some siege weapons upgrades like draft horses. Does not have it researched at the moment. Poseidon has enough favor for another bronze, which could be useful. Got a decent number of militiamen deployed out by Poseidon over here. Plus I got some fully upgraded guard towers here. Still can go for carrier pigeons, but that's about it. Red's army's now pushing along the flank. Got some gates here. And now red has what, bronze and a titan gate. Siege weapon drawing a bit of fire there, which is probably good for green. Red's high passes has a long path around.
Πρόσταγμα.
Red's army would like to go down, but at least draw a lot of fire away from the titan gate, which is being built around here. Cerberus is almost full in the field. It requires 3 times the amount of head pass than a normal doggo. More champion high passes being brought on in. Deal with champion hoplites. Polyphemus is taking some damage. And green's going for a mass number of various units. And donkeys. Mass Toxfay for Poseidon. He has a massive gold reserve. He may want to cut back on the... Yeah, he has cut back on the donkey caravan production. He needs a lot more food, so he should grab whatever... He also needs a bit more wood as well. He spent all of his wood reserve. Green's also pushing over here.
Πρόσταγμα.
But the militiamen that can come out can easily deal with the siege weapons. Those Toxays need to come over here. A guard tower being salvaged by red. It looks like he just spent a lot of gold. Oh yeah, his cavalry, the champion hippos, do cost a bit more heavy than gold. But I do think he should try getting out his unique cavalry as well. The AoE damage would be very useful against the hoplites. But that is a good number of guard towers. So that's where he spent all of his wood. Green Course can pull out his unique crossbowman, which is should outrange the watchtowers, as will do some good damage against them. Another round of Sentinels summoned out over here. Got a good number of Heliopoli and some archers. Sentinels are affected by various guard tower research. Some of Green's villagers going on down, which may free up some room for more donkey caravans. And Cerberus still has a bit of time before being deployed. Chimera, another one has been put up by Green. Green's pushing over here, but he will have trouble with all those defense fortifications. But there's a good number of siege weapons here. Green's town center has gone down here. Some Hippos reinforcement. Some of the piggies are being obtained. Fortress not being built here. Those are trying to shank the Heliopoli. And they're being successful. Polyphemus looks like will go down. Mostly get poisoned to death. And now Cerberus has now been deployed on the field. Oh, and he immediately issues a move order, preventing the animation from coming up. Cerberus can get in the water there. Oh, probably smell like wet dog, and won't be able to get past the trees. Militiamen charging wave 4. They will be actually decent against siege weapons, quickly taking them out. They only have additional opponents versus cavalry, more than a hoplite.
Λέγε.
Of course, they're far inferior to a hoplite, but they're free. You get what you pay for. Oh, and Green backs out of the game with Cerberus advancing. Either way, there's Angrade saying thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. Really wish that game would have gone a little bit longer, but it was still a pretty good game nonetheless. Let's see if I can't find another good game like that. Minimum, I would say, keep an eye on Adam Breeze. Okay, that's maybe good. Probably good enough. Squirrel. Greetings everyone, and Grade here with another Age Mythology replay. So on the north side as the blue Hades, we got Squirrel. So on bottom left side as the red Poseidon, we got the Dawn. Poseidon's goes to the cavalry focused Greek god versus the archer base Greek god, or focus I should say. When it comes to relics on the map, we do have Zirang. Walls get some health regen, which can be useful, but usually they're either alive or dead, never really in between. Yellow Fae periodically spawns a Fae at your temple, which is a poison unit. 9 cauldrons increase the hack and pierce armor of foot soldiers at the fortress building. So this does affect the crossbowman, the Gastrophotos. Will it affect the Poseidon one? It does affect the Heteros, or however you pronounce that. Hetaros, the Cuirassier, and spawn as, can't speak. And human soldiers do more buildings versus damage. All human soldiers do plus 0.2 damage against buildings. That's not bad. That's actually pretty good. It may not seem like much, but it would make a difference. We do have now the what's called Sentinels deployed up north. He probably should just wait until you receive the raid. You don't have to go for that immediately. They do have full damage this age, so it can really hit the scout if it gets too close. We got now the Vault of Erebus being queued on up for Hercules, not Hercules, Hades. What am I thinking? Nothing much apparently. And we do also have now the Hermes being queued on up for Poseidon, which is, of course, the centaur god with ceasefire. But with the Vault of Erebus actually being queued on up before the age up, means it's going to be a bit of a slower age up for Hades. Going for the house up there, there must have been enough room to traverse. Now, maybe no longer.
Έτοιμος.
Scout does take a bit of damage there. We do not got Atlantia being put on the field, the fast hero.
Έτοιμος.
We'll have a bit of trouble with these nearby sentinels. Red Scout does spot the villager and does spot them falling back. Does get an arrow volley there. Ajax trying to pursue, but he is not aged up, so he is a little bit weak versus the Centaur. Now he's very good against the Centaur. Hippolyta did charge forward, take a bit of damage there from the Sentinel. We actually have now Lamps of Minos being queued on that field, so maybe going for more Minotaur, which he is. Also going for Achilles. Minotaur to push way forward. It is a bold Minotaur at the moment. So it has 5.4 move speed, which is pretty good. Centaur does move at 5.9, so pretty fast. Hippolyta moves 5.6, so only slightly faster than the Minotaur. The villager does go down there. Minotaur trying to pursue the Centaur. Gets a good hit there. Bold charge in. Achilles move at 5.3, which is slower than both these heroes. Now, do you also have the Watchtower here, greatly increasing defenses in this region. Slight amount of walls here to protect these villagers, collecting up the gazelles. A lot of biddable stuff terrain back here, barring the hillsides, but this could be a good area to start farming. More Centaurs on the build queue for red. Over here, got Zebra being obtained. With Thesis protecting him, not really necessary, but Thesis pretty slow compared to the Centaur and Atlantia. Bull Minotaur push way forward, which Thesis is slower than Bull Minotaur, 4.3 versus 5.4. Villager gets scored to the town center. That was a little bit weird. It was trying to go this way, but decided to off the backboard, but does not go into the basket. Minotaur like to go down to the Centaur and Hippolyta. 80s. Oh, and staff this, so definitely will go down. Minotaur down. Scout is here. And got, of course, Ajax, Achilles, and another Minotaur. Does separate the Centaur so they can push forward. Atlantia can shortly follow. Of course, like I said beforehand, there's a decent amount of defenses here. And since Hades is not eyeing to expand, that's why he can actually safely go for these Sentinels back here. Going for more Minotaur. He's going pretty heavy in the Minotaur. Maybe a little bit too heavy. Those just weak inside of the Watchtower. We'll take a bit of fire upon retreat. Have to go up the hill, taking even more fire because of that.
Έτοιμος.
Ajax and Achilles now pursuing, or not really. Heard a sound like a military academy built by probably by Hades. Louvre here. Villagers falling back. Carrying the chicken meat. Oh, he does get gored a little bit there. And does actually get killed off there. He got stun locked out from going inside the town center. And yet the Minotaur are still bad at playing basketball since they haven't thrown anybody into the town center. A giant basket. One Minotaur does go down. And right now, since Red does have two town centers, does have pretty decent villager advantage, but we've got now 4 town centers being pulled out by Blue. Minotaur made sure he did not retreat back this way. It's better the Minotaur to die over here than to get this spotted. It's still far from being completed. He needs to save a bit of favor to get those Sentinels going, in my opinion. I don't think Sentinels are classified as Mythian as well, so the heroes can't do any bonus damage to it. Shade, Achilles, Ajax, and some Minotaur before, and a single hoplite. Red may have saw it there. Let's see. May have not. Can't say how accurate this is, switching it on and off, but seeing this black parts of the map, I think it is relatively accurate. After all, if we were to go from here, does anything get popped in? Yes, a lot of stuff does pop in, so that may be pretty accurate. You see, it feels like every single RTS is different whether or not if swapping, turning on vision on or off is actually accurate. We do now have Dionysus being queued on up for Poseidon, ready to hail Hydra. Villagers now idle there. There are some gazelle back down here. Not a whole lot though, just 4. There's 5. Blue will point out to Red that he has some idle villagers here. They're right there, and over there, a little bit over here. 1 village does go down, 2 villagers do go down. 1 doesn't escape into the sentry tower over here.
Ετοίμος.
Because of Poseidon aged on up, he has access to high passes to counter the hoplites. Pretty good. No heavy infantry just yet. Going for Hippolyta now. Hydra engaging the Minotaur. Should win it 1v1, no problem. Those getting hit there. Those an arrow volley there on the bold Minotaur. Hydra moving over here, but we've got Ajax and Achilles in this region. Blue does use Restoration. Red counters with a ceasefire. Restoration does last a short amount of time, but does give a pretty good combat bonuses, but that combat bonus has been denied. But the units are still at least at full health, so full heal. Got a number of units back here. Both players now have 2 townships. Blue's in much more forward aggressive position. He could try. He's going out getting Aegis Shield and Ceresia. Military Academy going on up and a couple archery ranges. Let's see, Red, what are you going for? Just more villagers? He has a lot of gold stored up. Maybe he's gonna go. He does have fortress. I think he's signed for age 4. Blue probably should start eyeing age 3 because he's down age, but in still a good position without it. Elephant. Delicious elephant meat not being obtained. I wonder how elephant tastes in real life.
Prostagma.
We do now have Poseidon queued on up, going for Artemis, may go for a Chimera. We'll get a Chimera and Earthquake. Earthquake will help him displace this region, that's for sure. But he would be pretty far behind otherwise. He's starting to build some military units now. So just backing on off. He needs more food before the age up. Going for heavy infantry. Like some gazelle there. We got some berries and other meats here. Fortress here, which could be overwhelmed. Bowling oil is probably not researched, doesn't appear to be. Centaurs push right forward, make it pretty good arrow volley. Does have some walls of fire from behind. Very good arrow volley there. Hydra engaging. Gotta make sure he takes out prevent Hydra from going down to Ajax. Ajax does go down. Hydra is still half health. So as far as I haven't seen second head just yet. There's the second head. And of course, with all the Centaur here getting free damage on in. Hydra does go down to Achilles. Blue's force him back. Overall, I think a pretty good engagement there by Red. Blue's now pushing over here as well. Got some wooden walls to stop him. Poseidon's consumed his gold reserve for a decent amount. Does have still a decent wood reserve. Could go for more fortress if he so chooses. Of course, the auto balancing still is so bad. Looks. Is that pole marks? Sylvan Lord upgrading centaurs to pole marks. Have more hit points, range, and line of sight. No damage. How much range does it give them? 3 range. Let's see. Centaur goes from 12 to 15 range. It's not bad. Toxidaes have 16, so more matched Toxidaes, but not perfectly. More walls going on down, you monster. Centaur's a little bit wounded, getting hit by these Toxidaes. Full marks now deployed in the field. They also have more health, so with their increased range and health, they're harder to kill. Make them an excellent backline support unit. Over here, Hades trying to go for Apollo, get access to Manticore. Manticore is one of my favorite myth units in the game. They do one thing and do it well. Throw a bunch of range spines. Though I think they're technically slightly nerfed. They're damage up, but they don't have the special attack anymore, do they? From the regular Age of Mythology. But of course, they're much cheaper and they're like 3 population rather than 5 population, so. I also do have a bias towards ranged myth units as well, because it's easier to keep your powerful ranged myth units alive than your melee ones. We do now have, looks like the copper shields, just all the copper upgrades. Another fortress being established here, trying to get that gold mine. Red has a significant wood reserve and also 40 villages on wood. Probably should grab 20 of them and build farms or something. Too much wood stockpile. Atlantia being re-queued, as was Thesis. Hallmarks running around. And now there's Age of Hades. Has excellent underworld passage, which could be very powerful. We do also Sunray, increasing damage of range units. Unit range attack damage, all types. It says range units, so in theory, that does not affect. It may affect ranged myth units, not so sure. Guess I have to wait and see. Full marks keep going down. Yep, he does have access to Sunray now. And of course, do cost 4 population rather than 5, like regular Age of Mythology. So they're much more spammable. So this fortification starting going down. Alright, it's going for a good number of research, going for Toxidaes and some Hypastus. Red is actually aging up to Chimeras and Artemis. It looks like Manticore did take some damage, but Thesis does go down. Hippolea can still range the Manticore. Fortified Town Center for blue. And got some more Petrobolos siege attacks. Bronze now utilized by red. Hypassus engaging. Town Center is now fortified. Of course, got the watchtower here. More heroes being summoned on in. And red now has his earthquake available. Red deploys his earthquake here, trying to destroy a lot of this infrastructure. Very nice. And remember, this is Hades, not Poseidon's. If it's Poseidon's, gets a lot of militiamen. Blue's starting to fall back there. Loss of forward, a lot of forward production. Still has some back here, but nothing too significant. Trying to
Take
wait
it.
out the bronze. Hades has quite a bit of stockpile resources. Looks like it is obtainable. Supply doesn't hasn't brought out Fortress yet this game. Get the age up going. Red's going for some various research now. Blue's starting to age up. Going for Artemis, which also gives access to Chimera and Earthquake. Chimera, that's Red's Chimera over there. Red's now push way forward. Atlantia does quickly down. Restoration pulled up by Blue. Very nice. Another Toxtaze. Chimera gets pretty good flame burst there. He's not pulling off of it. But Restoration did help heal part of it. Overall, the Toxtaze doing just fine. Red does deploy a ceasefire there to help stabilize. Blue does not have healing temple research, so it can't heal these guys up. Siege weapon in a pretty cinematic position. This is all cliff face there, so can't traverse up there. Got a barracks and archer range there. Red doesn't have too much production spawn field. He is going for some Heratos, which is the AoE cavalry for Poseidon. Should be particularly effective versus infantry. Anything that's in tight groups is going to be good against. So it's good against small sized units, whether it be Toxtaze, Hoplites, Hypastus, Automatons. Hypastus now being tasked to gauge the Toxtaze. Thesis, Polyphemus to full field.
Πρόσταγμα.
There's Heratos there, does up 2.5 AoE. We'll see how well it affects everything. Nope, does not get a strike there.
Έτοιμοι.
Hippolyta now engaging the Chimera. Earthquake now summoned by Blue this time, roughly the same region as well. But this may cause some militiamen spawn out to help stall out for Red. Some of this infrastructure does go down. Red needs to fall back, get some reinforcements over here, but he's low in food and gold, plenty of wood. Half the villagers should be taken off there. Maybe put 10 of the gold, 10 of the food, various sources. He has plenty for farms. And find a gold deposit, like the bottom right of the map. Perseus and Achilles being summoned, Minotaur as well. Archer range there. Blue's now shrinking on in. Red does have some more production back here. Going for more Petropolos. And how's this road? Red, when you built that Heratos, or whatever it's called, I don't think it even has medium upgrades, but looks like Red does back the game now. This Angrade saying thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. Hope to find another good replay. Way too low. Too low. Possibly if I have trouble finding anything else. Here we go. Thunder's BR. Where was it again? Here it is. Another game of Hades. Greetings everyone, and great here for another Age Mythology replay. Small on the bottom right side is the blue Fuxi. We've got Leon Hard. Small on top left side as the red Hades. We got Thunder BR. And since there's still a bit of bugs with the what's it call it with the Chinese, gotta make sure I have select Hades. When it comes to relics on the map, we do have the Zerang, give walls some health regen. We do have Fetters of Fenrir, which is increased villager attack by 30%. That'll be a good last resort. Either something gone something very wrong or something very right if using that relic. Feathers of Bai Fang. Soldiers do bonus damage versus buildings, which is pretty nice. And the last relic is Dwarven Horseshoes, improving the cavalry speed by 5%. This is also a hybrid map, so there's a number of fishing deposits in the field. And let's see now. I do not know any of the Chinese naval myth units, but Hades does have access to the Skyla. Skyla is no longer with Dionysus, but with Aphrodite. So the Skyla could be a possibility for Hades, to say the least. Curse is pretty decent god power as well. And of course, the sound balancing has been completely butchered. One more fishing deposit there, going for another dock here. Chinese player deploying out some fishing boats as well. I'm assuming there's nothing special about these guys. 50 wood. That's the salmon. And 50 wood. And looks like this guy has not deployed out the Peach Blossom. It's something you want to deploy out immediately to start generating resources, because the longer it's on the field, the more resources generate. So I think there may be oversight there. Got a pretty good patch of walruses here. Hades and Fuxi are both aging on up. Does have access to now lightning weapons. Hades aging up to Athena, gets access to the Minotaur. There's Yazi. Yazi is a teleporting dragon doggo thing. Red Scout is right here. I wonder if he actually used it. These guys' BR is relatively decent. But I am wondering why he's not pulling out this god power immediately. Red has multiple docks in the field. So he's getting some good amounts of extra civilian count. Do note that it does not count right there. It may actually count up here, 9 military units, 6 military units here, so it may be counting towards the military value? Maybe not. Ajax, Achilles, and Norm the Minotaur pushing way forward. We do now have Naza being employed on the field, as well as a Pioneer. Another dock here. Pegasus to pull in the field. And here comes a arrow ship. Dock has 2 fishing boats in there, providing 16 damage, nothing too significant. Go Meng now being queued up, which will give access to Tao Wu. Yep, audio balance is pretty bad. There's no wall there, so the Pioneer is able to break on through and throw arrows in the dock.
Λέγε.
One Pioneer here, so Ajax and Achilles could try engaging it. And now got the relic picked on up by Nezal. It is the one gives walls health regen. Nezal has some sort of weird fire here that gets up. Right now it's just a boy. Pioneer taking some weird damage. Minotaur is back on off. There's a fight of heroes. No myth units allowed. Norm does skate about there. Nezal is actually more of a proper hero like these guys. Well, these guys more close to Gobi. Actually, probably pretty close. Higher base damage than Priest. Good multiplier, so probably close to Ajax here. We do not got Aphrodite being queued on up. Give access to Nemean Lion and to a Skyla. The Skyla is going to be pretty important right now. If I do make any brief comparisons, looks like Red does have 7 more villagers on the field. Does food's practically equal. Of course, it may not also calculate the Khafus. I know Red has more fishing boats on the field, looks like, but maybe that is relatively accurate. Aeroship taking some damage there. Of course, Blue's now aged on up. Red's age up from complete, and the Skyla will probably spawn over here. Yep, the Skyla's right there. That should be very effective against these guys. First, deployed out here. Knowing the Minotaur does go down. 1 unit got cursed. Pioneers can't be cursed. They're heroes. The Skyla. Where did the Skyla go? Skyla's traveling over here. Skyla's going straight for the fishing boats.
Πρόσεχε.
Another Skyla deployed in the field. Skyla should be generating another head relatively soon. And that's how you get head. So it looks like I got triple Skyla on the field. That's quite a bit of Skyla. I don't know if the Chinese player has anything to fight Skyla. Most civilizations don't have any to fight hero myth units at sea. There's only 1 hero naval unit, and that would be the Argos, available to the Poseidons. We do have a Chiwin, which is a regenerative shield. That yellow bar is its regenerative shield. Huh, looks like they do have a shield icon here as well. That's nice. Got triple Skyla here. Skylas do additional 50% damage versus Smith units. This Chiwin does do ×2. Does move at a rate of 4.4. Skylas move at 5.3, so they're able to outspeed it. Aeroships move at 5.5. So we'll get enough time. This myth unit will go down. But shield does regenerate relatively quickly. Got a decent number of Nemean Lions here. We do have a number of these Javeliers, anti-archers, Dallas Swordsmen, frontline infantry units, pioneers, and the level hero thing. You have an age up now being queued on up for blue, going for Gong Gong. He has actually the Queen Long, which is, I believe, the water dragon. One scholar will go down, so living picked apart. These scholars could start hitting some of these airships. This guy spent too much dancing around. Both these scholars now have 2 heads. That myth unit does go down. Scholars may win out. They do cost 200 gold. Not too terribly expensive in gold, or in total. These aeroships cost 150 each, but of course, favor there don't cost any favor. It's not straightforward. Do now have the forest protectors, friendly buildings, target friendly building with surrounding area with the power of wood. And there's a snare effect. Restoration I utilized, as well as electric blades and cav imbuing stun attacks. So we've got a lot of snares and stuns for blue right now. Villagers repairing the town center. Got the catapults sieging away. Toxic are not even medium, they're just regular toxic. We could get heavy. Right, let's need some force here. Nothing engaging these villagers. Got a number of pioneers, and of course got another hero here, the Young Zia. I don't know how to pronounce it. Counts if it does go down. High Pastus and Toxidays push way forward. And hoplites. None of them even medium, all of them basic. Petropolos, no draft force or anything of that sort. More heroes being summoned. The Peach Blossom has been recently utilized. I'm curious what's the stockpile at. There has been a number of these Petropoles, but they're going to be focused down. We've got a number of these White Horse Cavalry, which are counter archer units with a special range attack. Chiron falling back, got Achilles here. So these villagers being brought on in as well.
Πρόσταγμα.
I'm not sure what that ability was. Looks like there was a mirror image perhaps utilized on a shade. The amount of range units here, so high passes would be a good idea, but generally, of course, themselves are anti-range unit. More shades being mirror imaged. Not exactly the greatest unit to mirror image. We do have some of these halberdiers that are counter cavalry unit. We also got the fortress now in range, getting some damage. Takes out some of these sages. Alright, so I'm back on another Nemean Lion pulled in the field. And blue's not falling back. I'm curious about that. Yep, providing on 2 per second at 300, so it was a mistake not going for it sooner. My apologies, I heard my drink open up. Sage is trying to heal up these units. It'll take a little bit of time. Red does a decent force. Got some two canoes now put on the field. The high passes still be a good idea. More medium lines being deployed on the field. More high passes. They are just medium high passes, no heavy high passes. Some villagers are going down. Right now, blue has a significant more civilian count.
Leger.
So I got some more arrow ships creeping along the sea. And blue's armor is slowly being pushed on back. Red does have a good number of high passes in the field. More Jambalieres. Be fighting Peltas on a equal footing. Right now, medium Peltas does 6 damage, 1.5 attack speed times 4. Javelier. Here's go. Medium Javelier, 5.5, 3.5, 1.5 attack speed, 17 range. 77 health at heavy, more in the wood department, 85 resources.
Έτοιμος. Πρόσταγμα.
Peltas are right now 90. And 77 health as well. The Peltas are better than the Javeliers, but only by slightly. But they do cost a little bit more, honestly. It's 85 versus 90. That's not too much difference, so they're pretty much equal. Heavy range swords now queued on up for blue. He's also aging up to Gong Gong. We'll give him a Quinn Long Water Dragon. I think also give him a Great Flood ability. And he's also aging up as well to Artemis, get access to the Chimera and Earthquake. Harbor Paul needs to get these two fishing boats inside. Red's now trying to go for another town city here. We've got a military camp and a machine workshop here. Villager does get shanked by a villager. You're now the Levy Bauli soldiers. Is that village there? Then that village as well. The number of blues villagers are going down. Quinn Long's now available. Does have access to the Great Flood. Great Flood's been summoned. We'll definitely clear through a good number of those trees. Units will be pour some back. Does take a decent amount of damage there. Restoration, not enough favor for it. There's the fully upgraded Nezha. Quinn Long push way forward. A restoration maybe in order to pop up these guys' health. Right now, red does have a large military force in the field, a lot less civilians. Out of wood, decent amount of food. Low on gold as well. There's the electric blades there. Takes out the dragon almost immediately. A couple mirror images, one of the Chimera, one of the Nemean Lion. These guys are oh so wounded. And now there's Earthquake somewhere. Way over here. Nothing too significant, honestly. But we'll take out the town center. A number of houses there. Putting blue on severe pop cap. So red has the opportunity to push forward. And devil should eye out for a restoration. Another mirror image of a shade. Iron almost goes down. Iron does go down. Anti-range versus anti-range. You now have the shaft of plague being queued on up, giving poison damage for red. Siege engaging these various infrastructure. Red's lesser economy is causing a bit of problem, but Blue's losing a very, very large number of villagers right now, so their economy is going to be evened out pretty quickly. Red does have a good amount of siege, but lacking some other units. Got these forces pushing forward. Heliopoli going on down.
Πρόσταγμα.
Force can provide some defense. We got a number of fire archers, which are anti-structure. Hades could also go for his own counter-structure unit, his unique crossbowman. Got a pair of chimeras in build queue. Shades pushing way forward. Storehouse slowly going on down. Over here, we've got some villagers trying to build a fortress. We've got the Kafu engaging. Does have some siege damage. Heavy white tiger horse cavalry here. Fortress almost complete. But already at less than half health. Could try sending some more speedy units up here. Those spots on the far side, repairing it on up. The Kafus are a villager variant, so they're not exactly most resilient versus fortress fire. So we've got the town center here, firing away. Some of these villagers are going down. And these villagers are engaging. Does do a bit of bonus damage versus towers, which I don't know if a fortress classifies a tower. White Tiger's going down. And red will script the gold supply. We got that hero there, engaging Chiron. Ajax push way forward. Chimera advancing. Good number of poison damage there from that Fell Hound. V-Hound. Alright, it's just from the poison arrows. The V-Hound maybe lose that one relic from that getting that item.
Λέγε.
And we've now got a tortoise here, the Zhu Wu. Yuan Wu. Super beefy turtle. Heavy white horse cavalry taking out these siege weapons, very nice. Shades do go down there. Of course, got a mirror image shade, which does disintegrate there. Chiron taking out some of these villagers. We're trying to build a silo, but the silo is being blocked by the elk. Now they're building a silo when they need to build their graves. This tortoise looks like having trouble pathing. He's just getting pushed around. Its move speed is 3, so not great. It's literally getting just pushed around everywhere. So it's moving faster than intended. Halberdier is pushing over here. Red's pushing down south. Howdy.
Πρόσεχε.
Harbor taking some damage there. Red's trying to push way forward. Red does have army of 120 on the field, versus just blue's 107. Both sides are not maxed out civilians. Got some idle villagers here by red, and the chimeras engaging blue's villagers. One of the chimeras did get mirror imaged. Another town center being established by red. Giving increased population gap. He does have the fortified town centers. Changing teletasks engaging. More mirror images being summoned. And the giant turtle does go down. Got some sentinels being put on the field. I don't think sentinels are going to be super useful at the moment. It may have been a bit of a waste of favor. But it looks like red will win out the fight. Got a force being established here, so good fortifications. Some of these villages may be set ablaze. Also got Prodromos helping engage the White Tiger Cavalry. More blue's villagers go on down, and looks like blue does back of the game now. That's Angrade saying, thank you for watching, and on to next replay. As I mentioned beforehand, that shall be my last replay tonight. There's been so many audio issues, I'm having some troubles with that. That's Angrade saying, thank